Welcome back to episode 2 of Desktop Ball, the only show where I sit at my desktop and talk ball. Today is September 27th. It's a Friday, and the New York Football Giants and the Dallas Cowboys just played one of the most undisciplined, boring, flag-riddled, ugly, disgusting Thursday night football games where everybody gets injured. Thursday night football just has not been a good it just hasn't been good in years past, and I don't know whether it's the short week or really what it is that's causing the Thursday night football games to just not be good. If the NFL is out to sabotage Amazon Prime and is just giving them bad game after bad game. At least this one wasn't a blowout. But it is at least notable how many stars have been hurt on Thursday night football as of late. Um, it's just it's concerning. Obviously, Tua goes out. Was that in like week 2, and this game, Parsons got hurt. Diggs was cramping. Neighbors was hurt. It's like every star on the field is getting hurt in this game. So that's obviously concerning. Um, Cowboys get a nice win. Come, get back to 2-2. Mike McCarthy, all my Cowboys fan friends are honestly just upset that they won this game, and it's just one step closer to Mike McCarthy keeping his job, one step closer to the inevitable first round exit for this team in the playoffs. We're debating whether this team is an 8-9 team, a 9-8 team, maybe even 10-7 or 7-10, but I think there's no question that this team is not that good. On the Giants side, I think this is elite tanking, to be honest. Look like the team looks competent. Malik Neighbors is an absolute stud and super fun to watch. The offensive line has been playing better and better. The defense was not great, but not awful. So as a Giants fan, there's definitely some positives to take from this game. Definitely some things that are good to look forward to, and it's supposed to be a good quarterback class. Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, Shadur Sanders, Carson Beck. There's some guys. Like there's absolutely some guys coming out into the draft. So um, Daniel Jones was not even like bad in this game. The most of his incompletions honestly came on the last drive, which was like 30 seconds left in the game, just throwing the ball away. He actually was quite good in this game on paper, but if you watch the game, you know that he underthrew receivers many, many, many times. And this dude is distracting me on the screen. He underthrew many receivers, and was just, I mean, it literally look at what it says on the right here. Stephen A. tired of Daniel Jones. You continuously come up short. Like, yeah, it's like he played okay, but I mean, he's not the quarterback of the future. Everybody knows it. So we're gonna go find somebody new. Absolutely massive that Brandon Aubrey misses that field goal at the very end of the game because I had the Giants in my pick'em league as a 5.5 point dog. So super big that they are able to cover with that miss from Brandon Aubrey. Um, so yeah, I think that's it on Cowboys Giants, and let's just jump into some pick'em. So the way that we're gonna do these Friday shows is, we'll just do a preview of well, we'll always recap Thursday night. We'll get into a preview of the NFL games for the weekend. Then we'll talk any relevant college football games for the weekend. Um, I don't really I don't really want to talk about fantasy football, honestly, on these preview shows. I know that like everybody's you can go to TikTok for your start sit guide and all that garbage. I'm not very passionate about that stuff. What I love is just good old fashioned football. So let's get into it. First, Atlanta is at home. They're a 1.5 point favorite over New Orleans. New Orleans, I think we all got really excited about New Orleans, and this will be a trend today for me is the if once the entire public gets on, like once everybody knows, it's gonna reverse. Um, once like I feel this way about the Saints, I feel this way about the Vikings, who we'll get to. Um, Once everybody knows that this team is better than they expected, and it's public and it's been talked about, even the Panthers, um, it's the jig is up, like this game's a 1.5 point spread. The Falcons have played against three of the best defenses in football. I've actually got it pulled up here. They played against the Steelers, Eagles, and Chiefs. Um, three of the better defenses in football. I think that New Orleans defense is probably not up to par with those teams. I think that Atlanta is going to I think that Atlanta is going to find a way to win this game by 3 points plus. I think they're the better team. Um, Similarly, the Rams have this really exciting week where without any of their weapons, they're able to go and beat the 49ers. Sean McVay just outcoached Kyle Shanahan, just totally you know, did everything that it took to win the game. And they win that game. It's a great win. It's an absolutely great win. I think Chicago comes out and wins this game. The Rams pass defense is very, very sorry. And Caleb Williams threw for 350 yards last week. I think he can throw for plenty of yards against this week. And I mean, the Rams defense, they can't stop the run, they can't stop the pass. I don't understand how the 49ers don't find a way to beat that team. But I think Chicago will. I think they'll beat them by 3 plus. And yeah, it should be pretty safe. You're gonna find that I like a lot of favorites this week. And some weeks I'm really big on underdogs, some weeks I'm really big on favorites. I really like every favorite this week. Um, Here we got Green Bay against Minnesota. This is at Green Bay, and Jordan Love is supposed to come back. Minnesota's another team, and this is three straight teams that everybody is super high on, right? Like look at these New Orleans, Los Angeles, Minnesota on the right here. You can see that these are super popular underdogs. And I have no science to back this up. I have no facts. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But in my opinion, if the whole public is on an underdog, if everybody knows about this underdog and everybody knows that, oh, look at Minnesota's defense and Sam Darnold's playing well and this, that, and the other thing, and oh, like look at the Saints, Clint Kubiak, and they're having fun, and oh, Sean McVay and the Rams, like these teams are significantly less talented than the Rams aren't less talented, they're just injured. But I think Green Bay is just the better team in this matchup. I think that the Vikings are good. They could be a playoff team. Um, but I think Green Bay is definitely the better of these two. If Malik Willis plays, maybe this is even still a bet that I would make, but I think if Jordan Love plays, that you got to take Green Bay in this game. Um, Next, another favorite that I like, the Steelers at the Colts. The Colts' run defense is absolutely pitiful, and the Steelers just want to run the ball down your throat, shoot clock, play good defense. Anthony Richardson, I think, has had too many turnovers and probably will continue to have too many turnovers. Um, yeah, I mean, I like the Steelers defense has just locked down a lot of really good teams. I don't think that the Colts are that good. Um, and by a lot of really good teams, that actually might even be debatable. They locked down Kirk Cousins, uh, Bo Nix, and who did the Steelers play last week? Why can't I remember this? Oh, they played the Chargers. They played Justin Herbert, who got hurt. So have they Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert, very good quarterbacks. Were they at their absolute maximum potential? No. But I don't think Anthony Richardson is that great. I think he probably has one or two turnovers in this game, and I think if you lose the turnover battle against the Steelers, they typically will find a way to punish you. Jets giving 7.5 to Denver. Give me Denver. I think 7.5 is probably too many. I think the Jets will win this game, but maybe by 7 points exactly. I saw something about Bo Nix is excited to meet Aaron Rodgers, and it's kind of funny. Aaron Rodgers is this Bo Nix was probably 7 years old watching Aaron Rodgers, and the guy's still in the league. It's absolutely wild what he's doing and how old he is and how well he's playing, honestly. But Denver showed me some stuff last week against the Buccaneers that I think is really exciting. I'm surprised that more people actually aren't on the Broncos here. I think that they're sneaky decent and they played a couple really good defenses to start the year, but I don't think the Jets are that good of a defense. I think Sauce Gardner's really good, and there's a lot of question marks everywhere else. So yeah, I think 7.5 points I think is plenty to take the Broncos. Um, Philly versus Tampa. I really don't know what to think about either of these teams, which makes this game pretty difficult to pick. It's in Tampa Bay. The Eagles, I don't know. I really don't even know what to think about either of these teams. Um, and when I don't know what to think about either team, I think a very, very reasonable and safe thing to do is take the team that's getting the points and is playing at home. Like that seems to make sense to me. Um, Philly's been good. They run the ball down a lot of people's throats with Saquon Barkley, and Saquon's been the best fantasy football running back. He's probably been just the best running back in football to open the year. Jalen Hurts hasn't been great, but Tampa Bay defense is like not that good. Um, is Tampa Bay going to be able to score on offense? Because Philly probably will score 20, 25 plus points in this game. I think that Tampa probably can score against Philly. Um, what I saw Philly do to the Saints last week is concerning on defense. I mean, Jalen Carter was absolutely everywhere. Um, I'm gonna ride with Tampa for the show. Honestly, I might change this for my league, and you're very welcome to change it for your league. But I'll ride with Tampa for the time being. I think they probably could win this game, maybe lose by a point or two. Um, Give me the home dog with the points in a game where I really just don't even know what to think. Very excited, honestly, for this game, just to see like which of these teams is for real. Are either of these teams for real? Um, Last week, Philly and the Saints was supposed to be a which team is for real game, and both teams looked pitiful. So I don't really know. Like I learned nothing from that game. I'm hoping to learn something from this game, but yeah, I'll take the Bucks with the points. Carolina's going to be a popular pick, I think. Oh wow, look at this. They're not a popular pick at all. That surprises me. I thought Carolina would be a popular dog just because of how they looked last week, but Cincinnati's 0-3. They have to win this game. They have to win it convincingly. Um, Carolina, 80 Dalton, it was fun, and honestly, they this passing attack could score a lot of points on Cincinnati, whose secondary looked very bad against who did they just play? Cincinnati? They just play Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Yeah. Their defense looked very, very bad. But I just don't think this Cincinnati team is bad enough to go 0-4. And I don't think that it's going to be close. I think they're going to win this game pretty convincingly. Although, hopefully the Carolina faithful shows up in a big way for this game. No paper bags over the heads. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it could be really fun if this was an entertaining and exciting game. If Carolina's able to keep it close. Um, the NFL is just better when there's no just like absolutely awful 0-17 caliber bad teams, um, which I thought the Panthers were with Bryce Young. So they got a nice win last week with Andy Dalton. Hopefully they're able to continue the momentum, but I think Cincinnati's probably just going to be too good, too talented to lose to this Carolina team. Um, Houston and Jacksonville is a 7-point dog. Jacksonville. That's not enough points. What I just saw from the Jaguars last week, they might be my new 0 and 17 caliber bad team. Houston needs to win this game. They looked bad last week against the Vikings. This is a get right spot for the Texans, and the Jaguars I think are going to be 0-4, and I think are just going to be relatively speaking dead. Um, we've got the Cardinals against the Commanders. 3.5 point favorites, the Cardinals, and it's in Arizona. Now we know these Cardinals can score, but we also saw that these Commanders can score. Um, is 3.5 points too many? Um, it very well might be. Is Washington a popular pick? It is a pretty popular pick. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation. Um, but I think we're in Arizona. Maybe people are riding a little high on Washington. I mean, this game opened at 5 points. It's fallen down to 3.5, but I think maybe people are a little high on Washington just because of what they just did to the Bengals, which what they did to the Bengals was impressive. But I just don't see it. I think they are very good, but I think the Cardinals are better than people may be giving them credit for. I think I've picked the Cardinals every week so far this year, and I probably will continue to pick them. I think they're just a team that can cover a lot of spreads because they could score a million points, which I think is pretty valuable. 10-point favorite San Francisco against New England. Yeah, I would take them minus 15, I think. They need to look good. They're I mean, consider what just happened to them. They lost to, and granted, San Francisco's missing a lot of talent, but they just lost to this Rams team that is also missing a lot of talent, and they're 1-2. You gotta win this game. You gotta get right. And the New England Patriots are a very nice opponent to get right against, in my opinion. Um, I think San Francisco should be able to win this game by 10 points. That being said, fun little stat. Through the first 3 weeks, the biggest underdog has won outright every game. So that was the Patriots in week one, beating the Bengals. It was the Raiders in week two, beating the Ravens. It was the Commanders in week three, 7.5 point dogs beating the Bengals. So, if this trend continues, maybe we have another New England winning outright against a team they're never supposed to beat. Um, I don't see it. I think the San Francisco team is just too talented, just too good. Um, is Trent Williams injury? Ankle? No, that's from a while ago. Um, is Trent Williams playing? Let's figure it out. Expected to play. Okay. Where were we? We were here. All right. I'll take the Niners minus 10. It's a lot of points for sure, but I think they should be able to handle business in this game. Next we've got the Browns going to the Raiders. Raiders are 1 point favorite in this game. Oh, man, I mean, I just keep picking favorite after favorite after favorite, and I do this to myself where like I talk myself out of it just because I like it when the answer on the test is C like 8 times in a row, you're like, oh my God, like it can't be C every single time. But I mean, the Browns were so bad last week. Like, am I really gonna believe in this team? They just allowed 8 sacks to the Giants' defensive front. The Raiders have a very good defensive front. Give me the Raiders. I think they win this game, and in order to win a game, you have to win it by at least 1 point. So at worst, I think I'm pushing here, and at best, which I expect, I think this one's a winner. Chiefs 8.5 points against the Chargers. Is Justin Herbert playing? Now we have to do this every single time. Like um, Justin Herbert officially limited. Let's check it out. Ankle injury in week two, but it might not keep him out of action in week four. So we don't really know. We don't really know. Um, the Chiefs don't like to blow teams out. They really don't. 8.5 points is so many points. Um, I'll take the Chargers. It's ugly. But 8.5 points is more than the Chargers or more than the Chiefs tend. Oh, excuse me. More than the Chiefs tend to win by. They like to play teams close. Um, the Ravens are a 2.5 point favorite against the Bills. Nope. Nope. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills all day. I think the Bills are a much better team than Baltimore. They've looked very convincing all year, and the Ravens have not convinced me yet. I think they just beat up on a sorry Cowboys team, but that does not tell me enough. And Buffalo's a very trendy pick, so that makes me nervous. But um, no, I don't buy it with the Ravens. I think this is very interesting because it's definitely like who's gonna step into that like tier two team in the AFC. I mean, the Chiefs are obviously tier one, even though Mahomes honestly has like not played that well to start the year. Everybody knows the Chiefs are. I mean, they're the Super Bowl favorites coming into the year. They're still the team to beat in the AFC until somebody beats them. And these two teams are the constant AFC hopefuls. And it should be a good game. It should be a fun game. I'm glad it's a Sunday night game, standalone. But I think the Bills have just looked like the best team in football. And I don't care that it's in Baltimore. I think that this team is better than the Ravens. I don't care that it's a trendy pick. Give me the Bills, and that's a little scary because it's such a public pick. I mean, 65% on an underdog is a lot, but I think they'll be able to get it done. Tennessee against Miami. This is gonna be a bummer. Man, I mean, what do you even say? What do you even think about this game? I just think that the Dolphins have been so bad. I mean, they've been so bad without Tua Tagovailoa. I think I need to see them. I need to see them look decent before I can pick them. Like yeah, I'll take the Titans, and that one's a little ugly. Uh, Another one where the underdog's a more popular pick than the favorite, but I think Tennessee is not as bad as people think they are. I think they win this game 13-6 in a very, very boring Monday Night Football game that nobody watches because everybody's going to be watching Detroit against Seattle, where, I think both of these teams are good. Seattle, I think. You guys want to meet my dog? Ah, hi, Casey. Hi, Casey. All right, get down. We're doing a podcast here. We're doing a podcast here. Yeah, I think Detroit probably wins this game. Probably by 4+. Although like maybe by a field goal. I don't know. I think Seattle's definitely been like pretty good. They're 3-0. They've been a big surprise, but Detroit's just more talented, I think. They did play these two teams played in an electric. I don't know if anybody remembers this. I think it was 2022. This game ended up going to overtime, and Rashad Penny, Seattle Seahawk running back at the time, ended up going for like 7 trillion fantasy points, and the game finished like 47-44 or something like that. So hopefully, when these two teams meet, it's fun and it's exciting. Hopefully, this one's high scoring and fun and exciting. I think that the Lions are a better team. I'm afraid that they're going to win by a field goal exactly, and I will lose this pick. But I think that they're better. I think that they'll definitely win the game. Um, and yeah, I mean that's going to be all. Let's go tiebreakers. Um, let's root for fun. 37-31 Detroit and Tennessee. We said was going to win 13-6 over Miami. I like that. I like that pick a lot. So that's going to do it for the NFL side. If you're just an NFL fan, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. But we're going to college football where there is going to be a few, and when I say a few, I mean a very few really good games this weekend and a lot of not that interesting games, unfortunately. Starting with tonight, there's Virginia Tech and Miami are playing, which is supposed to, it's not going to be a good game, honestly. Like the Hokies are not that good. But they were supposed to be good coming into the year, and a lot of people had them as their dark horse in the ACC. I don't think that they're for real. I think Miami's going to blow them out. They're a 17-point favorite, but maybe if the Hokies wanted to sneak back into that dark horse conversation, if they can hang tight with Miami tonight, maybe that'll be interesting. I just don't see it. Um, yeah, Ole Miss should beat the hell out of Kentucky. Let's go to Oklahoma State, Kansas State. The battle for who's going to be this tier two team in the Big 12. Utah, I think, has clearly established themselves as head and shoulders the number one team in the Big 12. And between these three teams, we'll include BYU. It's who's going to be that second best team? Who's going to make the conference championship? Kansas State's a 5-point favorite in this game, which I think is a lot of points. But I guess it is happening in Kansas State, so in Manhattan. So yeah, I mean, could be a fun game, should be an exciting game. Um, Something to get you through the 11 o'clock window, because there's really just not a ton of excitement. Arkansas A&M is always an interesting game that happens at Jerry World, but probably not going to be that good. Neither of these teams, I don't think, are really all that great. Um, Louisville and Notre Dame play in the Fraud Bowl of the week. I think Notre Dame is a 7-point favorite, might be too much, but I don't know. I actually like have watched zero Louisville Cardinals football to start the year. I have no idea how good this team is, but I think that Notre Dame is bad. So that makes me want to think that Louisville is the higher ranked team, and maybe they should not be a 7-point dog. But the people who do this research know a whole lot more than me on that. But I would take the Cardinals. They'll probably lose. I can't stand Notre Dame. That loss to NIU is just ridiculous. It truly is ridiculous. Ohio State quietly is going to go 4-0. They're definitely up there for best team in the country. They play nobody for a really long time. Let's check out their schedule. Um, because I saw Joel Klatt talking about this. So they play Oregon, Penn State, Michigan, and basically nobody else in between. Nebraska could be okay. Iowa could be okay. But I mean, in terms of teams that can actually hang with Ohio State, and Michigan is not one of them. I think that it's Oregon and maybe Penn State. So they don't play a ton of elite teams, and they get to warm up, come into the year, like prepare, similar to Texas, where there's like, you know, it. Michigan was supposed to be a really good team, but they're really not that good. I saw Joel Klatt on Colin Cowherd talking about, the advantage that Ohio State has by not having to come in and immediately like grind and hit hard in August, right? It shrinks the amount of time that this is a long good college football season compared to other college football seasons. The national champion theoretically could, and this won't happen, but they theoretically could have to play 17 games to win the national championship. It's a long, long college football season. I think it's a really big deal for Ohio State that they haven't had to really play anybody early. And you could say the same thing for Texas, even though, Michigan. But I think Michigan has been pretty disappointing. So whatever. That's neither here nor there. I think Ohio State is easily going to go, 5, 6, 7-0, whatever it is before that Oregon game, and then it's going to be really exciting to see what happens in the Oregon game. Uh, there's two games this week, really. Everything else has just been kind of bullshit up until now. Let's save the best one for last. Let's talk about Illinois and Penn State. Penn State's a 20-point favorite over an Illinois team that is ranked 19th in the country. That's a lot of points. Especially in a game where the over-under is only 47 and a half. Let's do some math. Let's do some math. What two numbers add up to 47 and a half and subtract to 19 and a half? How do you solve for that? I mean, in school, you would have done guess and check. I actually it's ridiculous that I don't know how to do this. 47 and a half minus 19 and a half gets us 28 points. So how would that then translate? Okay, enough of that. This segment is called doing shitty math with Brian, and we're never gonna do it again. But I think that's a lot of points for a game where the over under is 47 and a half. Seems like a lot of points. I don't know. I think that Penn State probably wins this game, definitely, but 19 and a half, man, that's a lot of points. I don't even know if they beat West Virginia by that many points. Let's look. Um, they beat West. Oh no, they beat West Virginia by that many points. So, I think they could do it, but Illinois probably is a better team than West Virginia. So yeah, I mean, should be a fun game. I think they're using this as the Penn State whiteout game, so that's always fun. That's always electric. All right, enough of all the games we don't really care about. There's really just one game this weekend, and it is Georgia going to Alabama. Alabama is a half-point favorite in this game. I've seen lines as large as Georgia -2. This is the first time I'm seeing a line that's Alabama minus anything. Um, I guess people are betting this line to move it. If I click on this, what happens? Skip this and take me to ESPN bet. Go to ESPN bet. Oh boy, we're gambling. Um, oh, and you can move the line. No free ads. We're not doing that. So Georgia, a lot of people are wondering, do they have the horses? Do they have the talent? I've seen some people saying things like, taking people from FCS schools and throwing a G on their helmet does not make them five-star Georgia caliber players. And while it's true that Georgia has assembled a pretty good part of this team from the transfer portal, a lot of them are also, the five-star Georgia dogs that we know. This team has been really, 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 really good for a long time. The team that they have not been able to beat is Alabama. The question is, was that Nick Saban, or is it that A logo that's just magical and somehow the dogs just are not able to beat this team? My guess is that it was Nick Saban, and I like Georgia in this game. I like Georgia to go into Alabama and win 7 plus against Alabama. I'm very surprised by this line, which Alabama, Jalen Milroe has looked really good. They go to Wisconsin. They crush Wisconsin. It was never a doubt. Um, and this is our first like true um, you know, two of the top elite rosters in college football playing each other this year. Texas and Michigan was supposed to be it. Michigan is clearly not what people thought they were, so we had to wait a little bit. Georgia and Alabama, this game is absolutely massive. It should be an absolute blast. If you think, if your girlfriend wants to hang out Saturday night, call her up, tell her, yo, Saturday night I'm busy. Let's do something Friday night. Let's do something Sunday. We'll go to brunch. We'll go for a walk, whatever. But 6:30 p.m. Central Time, Saturday night, you're busy. This game should be awesome, should be a really good time, and I personally can't wait. I've got the dogs going into Bryant-Denny Stadium and winning by 7+. I'm very surprised by the line, and it makes me feel like I'm missing something. But I don't think I'm missing something. I think Georgia is better. I think they're better in the trenches. I think they're better at quarterback. I think they're better at head coach. And Alabama is probably better on the outside. They've got some exciting weapons. But yeah, man, I think Georgia's just too good. College football games are won in the trenches. This is something you'll hear me talk about probably a good bit is, at the NFL level, I think games are won by coaching and quarterback play, for the most part. It's so thin in the NFL. Who's better than who? You're only better by so much, right? So I think it's a lot of quarterback play and a lot of coaching. However, in college, there's guys who can just push other guys around. And I think that Georgia is more likely to be able to push Alabama around than Alabama is able to push Georgia around. So therefore, give me Georgia, give it to me by 7+, which I think is pretty crazy. You know what? Let's go over to ESPN Bet since we're doing free ads. Let's give them the free ad. If we wanted to go to Georgia -7, oh, that's Georgia plus. Okay, Georgia -7. We could get it at plus 230. That's value. That's all kinds of value. I mean, it could be that could be fun. That could be really, really fun. Me personally, I'm not a betting man. I went to Vegas last summer. I got absolutely killed. So I'm just so sick of gambling. I'm done with it. I won't do it. But if I were a gambling man, I would look at that plus 230 and be licking my chops because I think Georgia wins this game pretty handedly. That's going to be it for the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing drive home or whatever it is that you're doing on this Friday. And I'm looking forward to a great NFL weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday for our NFL Week 4 recap. See you soon.